This is Israeli Technology Founders Speak, a podcast of conversations with successful Israeli high-tech and biotech entrepreneurs. With your host, Avraham Hermon. Ofer Shalev is the CEO and founder of Newphase, a MedTech company that has developed a new treatment for advanced cancer patients. Their technology uses tiny particles that target and destroy cancer cells while leaving healthy cells unharmed, offering hope for patients when other treatments have stopped working. Avraham sat down with Ofer to discuss how their technology works, how he came up with the idea, how he got funded, the challenges he's faced, tips for startup founders, and much more. This podcast is a creation of J.M.B. Davis Ben David, an intellectual property law firm serving clients around the world. You have great innovations. We keep them safe. It's not enough to just have a great startup idea or innovation. If you don't legally protect your innovations, products, and brand, anyone can claim them as their own. We keep your great innovation secure. Learn more by going to jmbdavis.com. That's jmbdavis.com.
Thank you, Ofer. I appreciate your invite here to your office and your labs here in Petah Tikva, Israel. We're going to talk a little bit about your company, Newphase. Cancer is known to be a huge medical need, and you guys deal with that. How do you address that need?
Well, I would say, yes, everybody agreed that cancer is a huge problem, a huge challenge. If you ask me about how many resources are invested in order to cure it, the answer is highly insufficient. Our approach was to develop technology, the vision, prolong the life of a cancer patient while keeping the quality of life. And based on that vision, we developed our technology.
So can you tell me, in general, how does the technology work and how are you curing cancer?
We learned at the beginning and we understood that the cancer have many weak points, and we decided to use those weak points in order to defeat him. Now, we didn't choose all the biology way of using that kind of protein and another, but we found out that cancer cells in general are highly sensitive to temperature due to the protein that assembles their membrane. This is one, and they can hold 41 to 45 Celsius only, while normal membrane can hold even 55 Celsius, and that there is a very poor blood perfusion in the cancer cell. And in translated, that means that the heat dissipation of heat from the cancer cells or cancer tissue is very poor. So we decided from the beginning to use the physics mode of operation using hyperthermia, or more accuracy, the electromagnetic hyperthermia, in order to destroy cancer tissue without causing any damage to the normal tissue.
I see. So you're heating the cells up to a certain level that is okay for regular cells, but will kill the cancer cells specifically.
That's correct. And we found out that 50 Celsius will be the right temperature to destroy cancer cells and not causing any damage to the normal cells. We already proved it in many mice, many swine, and even with 26 patients in our study until now, that yes, we destroy cancer tissue, but we didn't have any issue with side effect or any serious adverse event, nor with the mice, nor with swine, and not with human.
That sounds amazing. So can you briefly talk about how the technology works? How do you manage to selectively heat up only the cancer cells and not the healthy body cells?
This is the main patent of the company, the ability to control the temperature of the nanoparticle. So let's try to explain how this technology working. We develop nanoparticles based on iron oxide, but we encapsulate it with a material which called phase change material. That material is like a kind of a wax or a paraffin that has the ability to absorb extra heat while reaching to the maximum temperature. In our case, it's 50 Celsius. To the audience, look about the candle. The light of the candle might be about 400 Celsius.
Right.
While the paraffin is only 70 Celsius. And the paraffin is an example of a phase change material. it can hold a long time the temperature of, in this case, 70 Celsius, and just after a certain period of time to burn. The same idea we are using in our nanoparticles. The iron oxide are encapsulated with that kind of paraffin, that while the nanoparticle or the iron oxide will heat up by electromagnetic field, and I will speak about it later, the iron oxide tends to heat even to 80 or even 100 Celsius. But the phase change material can hold the temperature precisely to 50 Celsius.
I see. Okay.
And that's how our nanoparticles were injected into the body, into the bloodstream, and later on will be accumulated on the cancer tissue. Once we will activate the electromagnetic field, those nanoparticles will heat up only to 50 Celsius and destroy only the cancer cells without causing any damage to the normal cells.
And then the body, I guess, gets rid of these particles.
Yeah, in the natural way, through the liver and go out. And furthermore, in our technology, so once you take a decision or build a vision of develop a technology that will prolong life, obviously you are speaking about the ability to manage the disease. We are offering chronic treatment. In order to make a chronic treatment, every few months, the patient will have to get treatment in order to reduce the metastatic mass. So obviously, we have to make sure that those nanoparticles will leave the body, and I would say quite quickly. So we know that, for example, after 1 week, 50% of the nanoparticles already leave the body. And it's time dependent, so that we can offer chronic treatment without have any worried about the toxicity of the nanoparticles while accumulate more and more in the body because they leave the body.
Can you talk a little bit about how you activate these particles and heat them up?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, we have to develop the nanoparticles. And the other aspect was to develop the electromagnetic induction system machine. Let's think about a microwave. Okay? It is the same kind of microwave, but microwave is operating on gigahertz. In our case, it's in kilohertz. The reason for kilohertz is because we would like to penetrate the body mass. And if we are using gigahertz, like in the microwave in the kitchen, so the outcome will be if you will put a steak in the microwave and you will operate it, so it might be that the outer surface will be ready, but the inside will be still freezing.
Right.
And therefore we are using kilohertz, which is a very low frequency that can easily penetrate the body mass. And therefore, we can, and we are doing treatment in the deep tissue in the body, not on the outer surface of the body, but in the deep tissue, because we are using that kind of a kilohertz. It's actually 300 kilohertz. So we have to develop that kind of machine. We developed in Newphase by ourselves for the mice. And then later on, we found a subcontractor in order to build a human machine. Looks like, I would say, MRI. But in order to irradiate the body volume of the human being, the head is outside of the machine, so it's not like MRI with a claustrophobic. We are not treating brain metastases because of the different thermodynamic regime in the brain. So in our case, we excluded brain metastasis.
I see. Okay, so you can treat cancers all over the body just except for the brain.
Correct, yes. And that is what we have done till now with 26 the patient that we treated until now.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds interesting. So you put the patient into this machine, and essentially the only part that's being heated up of the patient's body are these iron oxide particles because they react to the radiation, whereas the regular cells don't.
That's correct. We are not heating, the idea not to heat the body, but to heat the nanoparticles, the iron oxide.
I see.
And
so
make
like
them
a microwave.
reach to 50 Celsius.
Got it.
And by that, we can destroy the cancer cells only.
Just like a microwave will only heat the water that's in the food. Right.
Correct.
Okay. But this obviously doesn't heat the water in the body. This is focused on only heating the iron oxide particles.
Right. The translation of the electromagnetic field into a hypothermia is only on the iron oxide.
Okay. How did this idea come into being? Whose idea was it, and how did you develop it into a company?
It's a kind of every good company have a very good story. In our case, my partner, Dr. Rafi Hoff, mother, she had lung cancer. It was, I think, 14, 15 years ago. At that time, we ran another medical device company, and obviously thought about idea how to save her life. She passed away, I think it was 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the outcome of it was that we decided to go to a new journey and to develop breakthrough technology in order, as I mentioned, the vision was to prolong life without side effect. And the outcome is a technology that we are building, which I would say that probably we are very new pioneers in the new area that's called electromagnetic hyperthermia, or other word is a fluid hyperthermia. Mm-hmm. It's a new area that I would say that we were the pioneers that developed it.
Was your partner, or you were in industry or in academia or in a hospital? How did that work?
Yes, we have many degrees, but from the industry. There are great ideas in the academy, mm-hmm. but there is huge challenge to translate it into a product.
Right.
And for that, you need practical entrepreneurs with a vast knowledge in science, but with the ability to translate it into a product.
Sure. So can you talk about where your investment is from?
Until today, we already raised $35 million. Mm-hmm. All of that came from a private investor and family office, partial in Israel, and mostly from foreign investors. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And unfortunately, we didn't succeed to convince any VC, not Israeli VC, to take this idea seriously. I would say, generally speaking, that Israel is probably not the right ecosystem to a company which I would say they are really deep science. It's not the right ecosystem to build a company in Israel. The way I can see, the way I have experience with many discussions with Israeli VCs, investor, etc.
Can you elaborate on that? What's difficult about it?
In order to build a company, you need an ecosystem that will support you. So at the beginning, while there is a crazy idea, I can understand that most of the company used a private investor to launch the idea, mm-hmm. to show that it works. But at a certain stage, you hope and you are operating in order to raise the next round, which should be a large round, in order to develop the technology based on, let's call it institutional investor. Let's mm-hmm. say mainly Israeli VCs. But once there is no interest in developing deep science company, I would say that most of the Israeli VC prefer all the area of the software, mm-hmm. either cybersecurity, AI, fintech, or digital health, etc., etc. So I cannot see how Israeli companies that are highly involved in deep tech can rely on the current ecosystem in Israel. At least this is our case.
Mm-hmm. What about collaborators? Big,
what do you mean?
Multinational companies that would be interested in collaborating.
So that's exactly what we are doing now, mm-hmm. in several areas, including with medical center. Currently, we are running the early feasibility study in Israel, mm-hmm. in Rabin Medical Center. Shortly, we will start with Mayo Clinic.
Oh, wow.
I would say one of the most distinguished medical center. And that will be to complete the early feasibility study in the US. We have a very good relationship with the FDA based on science and the well-documented study that we submit to them. So we got the IDE mm-hmm. to run our study in the US. They even agreed to acknowledge some of the cohort that we have done with patients in Israel, and therefore the early feasibility study that we will perform in the US will be shorter versus what we have done in Israel.
I see.
And we start to look for the next stage, which is a feasibility study. And we are discussing now with some more well-distinguished US hospital that heard about us and would like to cooperate with Newphase about the ongoing clinical trial.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as a company, do you plan on, I guess you have two products because you have the drug or the nanoparticles.
It's nanoparticle. It's not a drug.
Uh-huh.
A good point, because the main challenge that we had, I speak about 7 years ago, we understood that we have to define what we are, drug mm-hmm. or medical device. Drug that say probably 9 years of clinical study with $1 billion,
mm-hmm.
which no private company can afford. Medical device that say $40-50 million and let's say 3-4 years. So we submit a lot of data to the FDA, and they decided that we should be designated as a medical device class 3.
Okay.
Obviously, it helped us to convince investor that, okay, it's not going to be a financial, let's say, it's not going to be huge financial investment of $1 billion like it drug. So with regarding to your questions, we have one product, which is the the Sarah nanotechnology. Sarah, by the way, the name of Rafi mother.
I see.
Okay, and it's combined of the nanoparticle that we developed and the electromagnetic induction system that we developed. So both of them, in terms of the regulation, is one system.
I see. Okay, in terms of regulation.
Yeah.
Got it. Can you talk a little bit about patents? What patents do you have, and how does that play a role in your business strategy?
So we started to submit patents even before we founded the company.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a very early stage that we started to deal with patents. As of today, we have patents that already granted. It's a family patent that all around about 13 grants around the world. The main aspect of our patent is, the first one is how to control the nanoparticles temperature in the body. The other one is the ability of our nanoparticles to change its formation in the body. There are amorphous particles that can change its formation from a ball, from a sapphire, into ellipsoid one, and that in order to help them to leak out from the blood vessels into the cancer tissue.
Mm-hmm.
There is a phenomena called enhanced permeability and retention. Cancer cells, during that progress, the body feeds those tumors with leaky blood capillaries. And we are using it in order to leak out from the blood system and to accumulate on the cancer tissue. Mm-hmm. Once our nanoparticles change the formation in those very small pores, it makes it easy to leak out. So this is the other patent. And the third one is about a multi-core. In our nanoparticles, we have several core of iron oxide. It's not only one piece of iron oxide, but several pieces. Mm-hmm. It's called multi-core. So those patents already granted in certain countries. And we have also about 2 or 3 provisional that we already submit and we will take care about in the near. Mm-hmm. So with regard to your question, that we highly focus about patents.
Sure.
With any new development that we are doing in the company, we're trying to find if it can be patented. Mm-hmm. And if yes, so we move forward and make the submission of patents.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about what type of hurdles you have as a company moving forward, getting your product to the market.
I would say that probably it's a common to many of the MedTech and the biotech those days, but even before, is a question of funding. I think this is the main issue that a company of the MedTech and even biotech facing. And that coming back to the way we started our call, that everyone speak about cancer, but right. Not so much in order to help to the company, to reach to the market. And by that, I mean mainly to the, I would say, the institutional organization or investor on one hand, but also to a governmental funding, like in Israel, the Israel Innovation Authority. They are not doing enough. And it's not questions of a budget. They're not focused about it. So everyone speaks about the cancer. In Israel, about 1,100 and 500 people die every year. So what? Nobody, and I'm speaking in terms of the institutions, nobody doing any effort in order to focus about and finding the way how to, not to solve, but how to reduce this issue of so many people that are dying from cancer and on the way suffering a lot because of the side effects.
Right. I guess most treatments do have side effects, whether you're talking about radiation or chemotherapy, right? So and
also immunotherapy that in certain stage have a phenomena like a drug resistant and stop to be useful as before.
Right.
I would say that many, in our case, we are treating with a cancer patient at stage 4 that exhausted all other treatment. They were treated before with immunotherapy, chemotherapy, but at a certain stage, it stopped to work. And then we enroll them into our study.
Do you see your treatment being also applicable for cancer patients in other stages?
We are focused about the metastatic.
I see.
Not about the primary tumor.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So just for our listeners, metastatic cancer is when the cancer spreads to various parts of the body from the main tumor.
Sure, that obviously probably the nanoparticle can be injected into the primary tumor and then to heat up. But this is even a good surgeon can do it. The main challenge is to treat cancer patient at stage 4 while the metastases are spread in the body. So there where we are focused about. And currently, with the 26 patients that we treated till now, so there were 9 types of disease on breast, liver, lung, pancreatic, intestine, ovarian, cervical. We didn't have any serious adverse event until now, no side effect.
Mm-hmm.
And that is according to our vision. That's why we developed this technology, in order to make sure that the technology will be able to be a chronic treatment. And out of the 26, 15 patients have a signal of stable disease.
Wow.
Let's say that after 1 month, the disease, the tumor were stable and there were no new lesion in the patient body. And all of this is based on a CT scan, which is the usual way how to measure success of oncology treatment.
Okay, great. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some ideas or tips that you have for startup founders, either in this field or in general, starting a new company.
Well, he should be a very, it's not a question of serious human. You have to understand what is going to be his way. He should understand that he will meet many challenges. It's not going to be walking in the garden, not at all. But on the other hand, if you have a dream, go after it. But make sure that you will take all the right measurement in order, even before founding the company, to make sure that at least you will be convinced that it will be worked. And by the way, that's what we have done. We were about a year before we founded the company. We started to work, as we used to say, in the garage, in order to make sure that this technology has a chance to work. And that's what we have done.
Interesting.
But it's going to be a long way. You have to pay for it in terms of times, in terms of efforts, in terms of frustration, etc., etc. And you will find many times technological barrier that you have to find a way how to bypass them, how to jump above them or whatever, because eventually you will face some technological challenge. Obviously, you will have to think about how to build the right team in order to deal with technology on one hand and with funding on the other hand.
Right. Okay, that's good advice. Where do you see Newphase in a few years down the road? You're already moving in the direction of clinical trials and you have some proof of concept and some actual positive results in patients. So where do you see yourselves go?
So in terms of technology, in terms of a clinic aspect, I would say the following. First of all, we'll have more and more collaboration with leading hospitals, oncology hospitals in the US. We are focused about the US. Furthermore, nowadays there's a lot of discussion within the oncology community about combination of technology. And one of the very hot discussion is about combining immunotherapy with hyperthermia. And that's exactly what we are offering. The ability to, by destroying the cancer tissue in the body, to activate the immune system. So obviously in the coming year, we will start to run also some study of combination of our technology with immunotherapy. So that's in the aspect of the clinical and the technological side. And on the other side, I would say that probably a company, mainly oncology company, at a certain stage, there is an interest from a drug or medical device company to acquire this technology in order to implement it in a big scale with one of the big pharma or the big MedTech. So I can believe it will be the same with Newphase.
Okay. So Ofer, let me just ask you a question about being in Israel. Israel's been going through a difficult time over the last 2 or so years, even longer than that. But what impact has that had on you and the company and companies in similar situations?
So I would say, let's talk about the positive side of it. I think it's a huge advantage to Israeli company that succeeded to go through the plan in the last 2 or 3 years. They were very difficult, very challenging year, and I would say it's indicate about the resilience of the Israeli company in order to be able and to alter the plan, to find how to solve a solution and how to solve problem. And I would say that from investor perspective, it's a huge advantage to cooperate with management that have demonstrated so strong resilience in the last 2 or 3 years.
I see. Great, Ofer. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time that you took to share with us your journey, and hopefully we'll hear really good things from your company soon. And looking forward to hearing positive results and success.
Thank you very much, Avraham. And I hope that your audience will learn something and have some inspiration to make their journey successful as well.
Okay, thank you.
That was Ofer Shalev, the CEO and founder of Newphase. We hope you enjoyed this episode. There are many more to come. Do you have a great innovation or startup idea? We'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to us by going to our website, jmbdavis.com. And if you go to jmbdavis.com/startup, you'll see we have a special site specifically made for startups to help startups protect their innovations. Please be in touch with us and find out how we can help you. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to bringing you the next episode.